Hello and welcome to another Skaredcast video. Today we take a look at the previews that GW did on Saturday Twitch stream, all about 9th edition, new Necrons, Space Marines, and more. Let's begin.
The Dark King.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Skaredcast video. Today I'm looking and sort of reacting to what we saw on the Games Workshop Warhammer Community Twitch feed, the 9th edition announcement. I have been playing the game for over 20 years now, or since early 3rd edition or so, back in the day where I fell in love with the Black Templars and the Dark Eldar in a 41st millennium setting. A great starter set, had the rulebook, had some terrain, and since then I have been hooked. And it was very, very fun to sit down and watch the live Twitch stream while hanging out with all the Patreons. So we had a live sort of like viewing, and we were chatting and talking. And I'm very excited about the 9th edition changes to the game. Every single time there's an edition change, I can feel the sparks in the air flying. Whether it's subtle changes to the rules, like, for example, the changes that we might see to things like tanks and or flyers and or the way to build lists or the way command points work, all the way to massive changes like it was from the 7th edition rule set to 8th edition. So a new edition of the rules brings about, I think, the best in all of us hobbyists. And it's a very unique time. If you've recently got into the game and you're looking at continuing to play the game, whether narratively or competitively, or you're simply a hobbyist at home that loves to collect and paint and look at your really cool models on the shelf, this gives you an opportunity to be at the same level with the new edition with many, many other gamers that might have been playing longer than you. There's always a learning curve when it comes to a new edition. So I'm the most excited about redoing some tactical videos and diving into every phase of the game and finding a way to use my army that I've been collecting, painting, and playing diligently within a new framework. I think that's the thing that excites me the most. So let's dive right in. The first thing that we saw was the trailer. I have not been this excited to watch a trailer since the old Dawn of War intro video. The graphics and the rendering of the CGI was phenomenal, and they didn't hold back with the grim, dark, gruesome nature of the 41st millennium. You got to see Imperial Guard getting flayed by Necron Gauss fire. You got to see Necrons getting blown up by bolter shells. You got to see the almighty chainsword and Necrons failing all their armor saves. You got to see power swords and new Primaris Marines with storm shields and the Sisters of Battle in all their glory, the Adepta Sororitas, just laying, and it was just an epic clash. And I love the setting where Necrons are sort of like rising up to be sort of like the main antagonists of a post-Imperium Rift world universe, which I think is really, really cool. So that, of course, got the juices flowing. I was sitting there like a little schoolboy, just really excited about what cool stories I'm going to be able to create and what cool tactical options there are going to be for a competitive player in me and for a hobbyist player as well, because I do both. As you can see, I play Apocalypse, I play competitively, I hobby, I've got a whole variety of different things that I've got going on. So, new models. We got Primaris Marines with chainswords. We have a new Necron Silent King. New Necron models. The Necron Warriors got a cool overhaul, considering the Necron Warriors are as old as, Cabalite Warriors were. They're old. Necron Warriors have been the same sculpt forever. I love that they're getting new sculpt, and they're finally getting an upgrade option. Or a different weapon option, which has never been the case. And it's always been Necron Warrior, 1 to 20 models, one loadout, no upgrades, just downright boring as Necrons can be. So somebody opened a closet and was like, hey, who left all these weapons here in the Tomb World? I don't know, but let's grab them and use them. So that's really exciting. As for the big changes to 9th edition, I'm a big fan of narrative campaign stuff. I think it's really cool if they have like a set crusade thing is what they've called it, where you can essentially kind of level up your crusade force and your campaign force and play with friends who are leveling up their campaign force while they collect, paint, and hobby. I really like that aspect of the game. I'm also a huge fan that terrain might be, will be overhauled. I hope so. I hope it's more interactive, makes sense. The game, at least right now in 8th edition, is so massively dangerous where, if you just want something dead and you can focus the weapons on it, the game is deadly. That unit is going to die. So unless it can hide behind something, it's probably dead if your opponent wants it dead. And I love the idea of them revamping the terrain rules. The tactical reserve rules have always been something that Games Workshop has tried to get in properly. So I'm really curious to see how that works. As a Dark Eldar player, I love tactical reserve rules in general, and being able to sort of deep strike your Ravagers or your planes or whatever it is you need to keep them safe from a turn of shooting can be the difference between winning and losing a game sometimes. But giving you options to say keeping them out of the table for longer, giving them more time to sort of position maybe around the board edges and outflanking and things like that. As for army building mechanics, having a set number of command points for certain point levels. If we continue to play tournaments at a 2,000 point level, maybe a 1,750 point level, if or whatever the level is, or that GW starts to push, Mike Brandt, who's the founder of Nova, being in charge of like international 40k events and sort of helping with the development of a main international 40k tournament series or scene means that if we have the merging of BCP and Down Under pairings and then the ITC joining forces like Reese and Frankie, this is all speculation by the way, but Reese and Frankie joining forces with Mike Brandt because they're all in like the testing community together, and then creating a dedicated competitive rule set for 40k that can be balanced and tweaked a lot more frequently. I think that is only good for the game. Also, in regards to the app, they are releasing an app which Age of Sigmar players will have had forever, and I think that is great that they're bringing that into 40k. I use that Age of Sigmar app all the time, not only to make my list, because they even have some of the out of production stuff, like the Tomb Kings have their rules on there, and all the old dwarves. Like you can play the legacy armies using that app, but being able to go and click on different armies and see their like data sheets and read their rules. And just kind of, it's like open source, so you can kind of learn. And if you want a book, you can either purchase it right on the app. However, it's nice to hear, I've seen that, it seems like if you buy a hard copy, you will get the digital copy included. I think I saw like a rumor somewhere. Other than that, that would be really cool. So this is what I want you to do. Like, share, subscribe to the video, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what is your favorite thing about the new edition, or your favorite thought, and what is the thing that you are wishing they wouldn't change, or you hope that they don't change, or that you're a little upset that they did change. And let's start a discussion. I will be taking suggestions on new content and things like that. As soon as the new edition gets released, you can expect lots from me here at Skaredcast. Thank you very much to the Warhammer community and everyone out there who tirelessly works to create this hobby that we love, and to support it, and to continue moving forward, even through all the trolls and all the people who sometimes decide that they just want to be little meanies online. But you folks are amazing. You love the hobby as much as we do, and I'm a fanboy, clearly, so thank you very much. And I will continue to play and love the game, and hopefully you as a viewer and as a watcher enjoy me doing it. Of course, if you'd like to support the channel, the Patreon link is down below. The Denizen community constantly grows. We do live streams, exclusive content, and pre-release stuff. So if you'd like to support me as we continue to move forward into the future, please consider to do so. After all, I am Skari, your grateful host, and here come the Dark Eldar in 9th edition. Ah, the Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.